Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is my new YouTube channel, Turnkey Trading. And what this channel is all about is this channel is for swing trading U.S. stocks and ETFs and indices. Usually we short-term swing trade, maybe a few days, maybe a week or two, and then we're done. And what I've done is I've created a system or my own algorithm that identifies the stocks that are in play that look like they have good probability of moving for the next few days. There are certain things that line up. I go through, it's like an automobile. I go through this 11-point inspection process to determine if this is a good stock that looks like it's going to be moving for a little while. And, on this video, I will walk you through, I will show you, I'll lay it all out on the table. I will show you my algorithm. I will show you my system, how it works, and how I use it. So turnkey trading is new. I don't do a lot of, I'm not going to impress you with a whole bunch of interesting facts and data on charts, and I don't care what happened last week. I don't care what happened last month. I'm talking about today and which stocks we can get into today that look like they can move for the next few days. That's what my whole channel is about. That's what my whole system is designed for, identifying those stocks. They say that about 80% of the time stocks are trending sideways or in some kind of a tight range bound. That means there's only about 20% in any given year, 20% of the time, that stocks are really moving. I'm trying to find those times and those stocks. Okay, so we have to make directional bets. My system is all about finding the stocks that are trending, that maybe they had a recent reversal, a pivot, and look like they can go for a little while. Okay? So we have to make directional bets, and you need to create an edge in this business, or else you're not going to make it. This is my edge. I've created this system. I've been working on it for a while. Overall, it's pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's not bad either. Okay? I rarely have a stock that just totally tanks on me because I put my stocks through that long 11-point inspection process, and there is a very good chance that today and tomorrow, and maybe the next day, it's going to be moving. I rarely have one that just poops on me. Okay? And that's important. At least we can eliminate, or with high probability, eliminate most all of those cases. Okay? So we're looking for the squeeze plays, for the 20% of stock moves. Long or short, it doesn't matter. We're looking for evidence and probability that there's a large play starting today. Okay? So, if we use the daily chart mostly, and they might, there's a good chance that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, we got a real chance that the stock is going to move and that we can get into it today with the right timing. I'll show you how to do that. All right, so my channel, Turnkey Trading, is for swing trading. Once in a while, you have to do an intraday because something really turned on you. A Fed official said something, or Trump tweeted something, or something happened, and you have to get out. So yeah, once in a while you'll have to intraday. But my system and everything is designed for swing trading. Now, we look for direction and momentum. I mostly use the daily charts. I also add the 2-hour charts, and I'll show you why. I've created this system. I have back-tested it extensively. I have practiced with it in a demo market and in live trading market. It works pretty good. The only thing, it's a good system, but you can still screw it up because you're not disciplined. Because you can't wait one more day for that setup to finalize. Or you're too anxious to get in, or you're too anxious to exit. So you can still screw this up. That's why I started this group, so you can work with me, I can give you my opinion, and we can move forward. Okay? I'm hoping I can build a community. I'm hoping this turns out to be a really good channel that is useful to people. I would like to have live video streams every morning in the pre-market. I'll take a look at 4 or 5 stocks that I'm looking at, and any stocks that are on your mind. We'll run it through my system. I'll give you my opinion on it. And we'll be good to go. I mean, morning videos shouldn't take longer than 10 or 15 minutes. You should be able to work me into all the other stuff that you're doing. You know, and that brings up something important. If you're going to survive in this business of trading, you cannot do this alone. You have to be part of a group or many groups. Personally, I subscribe to probably 15 or 20 different things that I get their stuff every day. Sometimes they're just promotions and offers, but sometimes, you know, they're filled with a lot of really good information. And yes, there are a lot of YouTube channels. Well, not a lot. I used to do a lot. I've narrowed it down to maybe a half a dozen YouTube channels that I watch regularly, every day when they come out. Because the information that those authors, those content creators are providing is really useful. Okay? I also am on 2 live trading groups. Because, why 2? Well, it's because sometimes when one's not talking, I'll listen to the other one. Okay? You have to consume yourself. You have to swim in this stuff if you really want to be successful at it long term. Okay? So, in this video, I'm going to show you how I find stocks. I'm going to show you how I run them through my system. I'll show you how I time my entries. Okay? And I'm hoping I can do that every day and during the pre-market. And if you have some stocks you want me to look at, we can do that as well. So let's go ahead and begin. So this is, again, welcome, Turnkey Trading. It's new. My name is Ryan. I've been trading for about 8 years. All of those 8 years trading stocks actively, but I spent 6 years in Forex as well. And I just couldn't make that work. Forex is just really crazy. Okay? I don't know how anyone can do that as their only income. I think the people who are successful in Forex, they must have, you know, their spouses are working, or they've got real estate properties with rental income. They've got to be doing other things. Okay, Forex is really hard. Okay, so let's take a look at my channel here. This is my About Me page on my YouTube channel. And we'll go through this. I might modify this later, but this is what it is for now. So, Turnkey Trading is for swing trading stocks and options to hold for a few days. I have an innovative system that I'll show you. Strategies. Swing trading stocks, ETFs, and indexes. We're looking for stocks that have clear direction and momentum. We trade shares, or you can do options. It's your choice. But my channel can at least show you the stocks that are in play. We hold for a few days. Okay? I'm hoping that we don't have to intraday trade very much. There are new opportunities every day. Even when the markets are really slow, there's usually something going on. Now, if you are an options trader, I recommend 2 to 3 week, maybe even 4 weeks expiration dates. And in the money strike prices, I used to do a lot of OTM out of the money, and if the stock goes against you, it might go for it might work in your favor for 1 day, and then on day number 2 it works against you, and it's against you for the next 2 or 3 more days, and then it starts to turn around and go back in your favor. The problem is that you lost 3 or 4 days there of time decay, and you know, if you've got a 2 week strike price, or excuse me, 2 week expiration date, you just used up that first week. That second week is going to kill you on the time decay. So if you're not already profitable within the first week, I usually just get out. Okay? Well, that was a big problem with OTM. So ITM is a lot more forgiving. Yes, you'll make a little bit less money, but you'll stay in the business a lot longer. Okay? I recommend in the money strike prices. So for example, if a stock is $78, I might take a strike price that's 76, maybe 76.50, somewhere in there. And I've lately been using 3-week expiration dates. It's entirely your choice. If you're trading options, you should be able to make these decisions on your own. I'm just telling you what I do. So 2 to 4 week expiration dates in the money strike prices. Now stops, I think if you're down 60%, something's wrong, and you should probably get out. And you can always get back into it with a new option trade if the underlying does turn around on you or start moving in the right direction. Okay, but you need to have something. Don't have those 100% full losses that are just catastrophic. Okay. Now, a couple more items. Good isn't good enough. We only look for trades that are compelling and show clear direction with strong momentum. I'll give you an example. There are dozens of good trades every day. Okay, so let's say there are 30. Well, you can't trade 30. You need to narrow it down to the absolute top, cream of the crop, the best. If you can, if you've got time to really kind of sort through it. And we're just looking for the ones that really are compelling and look like they have the strongest setup. And I'll show you how to do that. So I might be in anywhere between 0 and 5 trades every day at any given time. That doesn't mean new trades. I'm not always taking new trades every day. If I did that, I'd have 14 trades eventually. I don't want 14. I want maybe no more than 6. Because you still have to manage them. You still have to look for resistance and support. You still have to know what's going on, and so forth. Okay, so 0 to 6 is usually what I have on any given day. Now, here's the great unknown. Here's what we don't know. How far a stock moves is unknown, but we do know how to improve our chances. So you can identify a stock that has a great setup. It's just juicy. But is it just going to move one more candle and then it's going to tank on you? We don't know. We don't know how far the stock is going to move. Okay? It might go sideways. It might go in your favor for 3 hours and then go sideways for a couple of days. We don't know. The only thing we can look at is the here and now and then estimate the best ones. So this video explains the algorithm and the strategies. I'll show you that. And ultimately, when I have seen so many other YouTube channels over the years, they often like to show you and impress you with all this stuff. They'll show you something that happened last month, and then the price did this, and I hit the Fibonacci, and I did all this. That's all well and good, and it's educational. But it does nothing to tell me what stock to get into today. Which stocks look like they're going to go for the next few days. That's what my channel's all about. Okay? I'm not going to show you a bunch of stuff that happened last year and this lined up and then this happened last quarter. I don't care. I want to know what stocks I can get into today and hold for a few days. That's what my whole channel's about. And you'll see that on my videos. So don't look in the past. My system tries to look forward and estimate the future. Okay? Understand, please, trading is hard. I'm not God, and neither are you, so we trade probabilities, and that's how we manage our risks. Now, I gotta say, you're responsible for your own risks. I don't send out alerts. I don't tell you what stocks to get into. Here's the target 1, target 2, here's your stop loss. Here's your strike price, here's your expiration dates. I don't do that. I don't send out, at least not yet. Maybe in the future I can. Right now, not. You're responsible for your own. So if you want to buy shares, you want to use 5% of your capital, 6%, 8%, that's on you. If you decide to get in to the stuff that I'm looking at and that I'm pointing out, that's on you. You click your mouse. I'm not clicking your mouse. You click it. And you got to be responsible for managing that trade. You got to know when to exit. I can give you my opinion on stuff, but you have to manage your own trades. The only thing I can do is Try to identify the stocks that look like they're in play. Okay? All right, so moving forward, let's take a look at my trading view. This is my options outlook, is what I call this. And here on the left, this is the daily chart. Here on the right is a 2-hour. Ignore this for now. I'll go over this later. So let's take a look at the daily chart. I've got 11 indicators here that I use, and along with some moving averages up here. And I'll walk you through each one, what their purpose is, and how I use them. All right, so first of all, you should notice the candles that I use. I don't use the regular green and red standard candles. I use Heikin-Ashi candles. Right now, I just have the default Heikin-Ashi candles that are available in, I don't know what happened there, a little reload, apparently. Sorry about that. Okay, so I use Heikin-Ashi candles, and because they are better at detecting trends and reversals, okay? Now, also, I gotta tell you, after all these years, I got tired of looking at green and red, so I changed to orange and blue. All right, so let's go ahead. So Heikin-Ashi candles is where we start. Let's walk through my indicators. In this top pane, we have two. Start with the chandelier exit. That's what produces these buy and sell signals. Okay, and overall, you have to do your own back testing to determine what settings you like. But I have them set up, and I think that when there is a big run coming, they tend to show up at a good time. But when it's trading and it's trending, it's kind of choppy, they show up a little late, but that's okay. It's a trending. It's an inconsistent data there. So let's go back to this. These buy and sell markers are what I'm looking for. They're one of the points on my system. And that's really it. As far as the chandelier exit goes, I just like these buy and sell markers that it produces. Okay? And all of these are available in TradingView. The next one in this pane is the WT-Feb ratio. Now that is not publicly available. You have to buy that one. I acquired it from Bob Kendall from the Kendall Report. He's got a YouTube channel. He sells a suite of indicators, and I really like this one because it also produces these green and red markers. They are also buy and sell markers. And these tend to show up pretty much on time, if not a little early. They're almost never late. Okay? But I like them. I like them in conjunction, and I use them in conjunction with the chandelier exit. And that's it. Very simple. They're just buy and sell markers here. You can see these little triangles. Now this indicator also produces these lines here. These are pivot lines. These are different than the standard pivots in TradingView or probably any platform. They are calculated differently. I don't know. I don't understand the calculation, and I don't need to know. But whenever you see these long solid ones, I think that's this indicator's estimate of the trend. See how these are tiny up here? They're only maybe 3 or 4 wide. I think that it's betting that price is not going to be venturing up here, and how these are long down here. I think that's part of the estimation. It's estimating short. It's estimating continuing down. And now we start to see these up here. There's a chance that we might see some action. Okay, moving to the upside right now. Today's October 4th. I guess we'll find out. So those are the two buy and sell markers in this top pane. All right, moving on. This indicator is a Heikin-Ashi line. It's the same data as these candles, but it's represented as a line. And of course, I use blue and orange. But this is a perfect mirror of here. So all the orange here is here, all the blue here is here. And that's important because visually, if I'm going to be comparing to this indicator, I don't want my eyeballs trying to go up and down and up and down. So I use this Heikin-Ashi line in conjunction with this indicator, which happens to be the ADX and the DI plus and minus indicator. Okay, so let's talk about this indicator here, the ADX line. That helps to determine the strength of a trend. You can see that there are red and green lines here, and when they cross, that's when the color changes. And that's it. That's all you need to know. And also, I also think the slope of these lines is important, because they're going to have to converge and come together before they cross. But when they are diverging away from each other, in some of these cases, I think you have a really strong trend there. But that's not important. I usually don't think that deeply on all of these. I just use this indicator and this indicator at the same time. I need to see congruency. I need to see congruency in the colors. They're both orange, they're both blue. And when they are, we've got trending down or trending up. It's that simple. I mean, don't think any deeper than that. Just let your eyeballs compare these two. Orange, orange, blue, blue, and we're done. Okay? Moving on. This indicator is it's the Heikin-Ashi line again. It's the same one as this, except it's more of a line, overlaid with the whole moving average. That's HULL. I like the whole moving average. I think it's better than the exponential and simple moving averages because it reduces lag and it prioritizes the recent values to be more responsive. So I like how this is overlaid with the Heikin-Ashi. Again, it's set to orange and blue. When the trend changes, it'll change color. And I'm looking at orange and blue. Okay, that simple. It's just a quick glance. Are they congruent or not? Now the next one is the on balance volume, and that looks at buying and selling pressure and volume. It also tracks inflows and outflows of volume. It's a volume indicator. Okay, there are lots of them out there. I chose this one. I like how it can be configured to change color based on trend. Again, orange and blue. And I use these two together. These two have to be congruent, orange and blue. Okay, so we got orange and blue comparison here. We have orange and blue comparison here. So this is 1 point. This is another point. Okay, if they're congruent, they get a point. Okay. That's it. You don't have to think anymore. This needs to be eyeball glance. Is I think the best way to do this. Okay, next indicator is the TSI, the True Strength Indicator, or True Strength Index. And that's a momentum oscillator that identifies trends and reversals. The crossovers detect overbought and oversold conditions, as well as trend weakness. So this one changes colors from red to green when it detects a trend change. Okay. Sometimes it's on time, sometimes it's a little late. That's why you have to use multiple. Okay. You can't just use one and go with it. It'll never work. But it's very simple. It produces these markers, color change. That's it. That's all you have to think about. And these markers here are the ones that are found up here that are blue and orange up here. These little triangles. They correspond with this. Okay. Next one is the RSI line. Most people know what that is. Overlaid with this line, the TSI, and that's it. It's just those two lines together. I like to see agreement as far as pointing in the same direction. When they're tight together, you know you've got something. When their lines are kind of separate, like I'll expand this out. When the lines are separate, you don't have a strong trend, but you do when they're hugging each other really tightly. And of course, the direction that they're pointing, pointing up, pointing down. Okay. So this is another point itself, and so is this. This is also a point, and that's it. It's the TSI and the RSI overlaid. The next one is it's a MACD. It's called the zero lag MACD. I like it because it's improved over the traditional MACD. The EMAs in the calculation, somehow they're calculated to not lag. I don't understand all that, and I don't need to know, but so it's a MACD, and it also produces these markers, and they're okay. No way are they good enough to trade by themselves, but they do help to confirm what I might be seeing up here. And that's it. It's a zero lag MACD. The next one is the RSI and stochastic. Again, the RSI again, overlaid with stochastics, which are good at detecting overbought and oversold conditions, pointing up, for direction, pointing down, that sort of thing. And that's it. And the last one is the dynamic money flow. That's an improved money flow. It's supposed to be better than the Chaikin one. It's improved for breakouts and trends and reversals. So you can see here when it was starting to bottom and starting to point up, you can look at the candles up there and you can see that we're starting to turn around and we're bouncing off of that moving average. So we're starting to get some direction change here, and it eventually changed color from red to green. Okay, so again, it's just another way to measure trend direction. That, if you'll notice, that's pretty much what all of these are about. So when I was building my algorithm, I knew I needed to have an indicator that looks at money flow somehow, and I wanted a volume indicator, and then everything else to be trend direction. And I need agreement in just about all of these before I enter a trade. It has to be pretty clear, pretty strong. Okay. Now that's not all. Up here you'll see these lines here. Those are moving averages. The yellows are daily. The gray ones are weekly. 20, 50, and 200. You can choose whatever you want. Those are the three that I've been using, and it works okay. And let's see. Let me talk about the point system. So, there are 11 here. There are 8 that really matter. Okay. Here, let's see. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, about 8 or 9 that really matter. Some of them I use in conjunction with each other. So, for example, these two have to be in agreement to be 1 point. These have to be in agreement to be 1 point. This is 1 point. This is 1 point. These collectively are 1 point. This marker is 1 point, and this marker is 1 point. And you need to have 5. So there might be maybe a total of 7 or 8 possible. You need to have 5 in order to consider. I mean, that's still not a slam dunk. Just to even consider getting into a trade. You're not done with your analysis. You need to look at moving averages. Are we near a moving averages? Are we sitting on top of support here and ready to move up? If so, then I need to see strong going long indication here. And it makes it more powerful if it looks like you're bouncing off of support. This happens to be AMD. Looks like it's running into some ceiling here, some resistance. And we'll talk about that here in just a minute. If you look at the 2 hour, it looks like it's above it. It has successfully gotten above this resistance. So we might have some upward direction on AMD going into tomorrow. But look, we're coming up to another. This is going to be, I think, the 50. I'm not sure. 2050. Okay. We got another moving average right here and another pivot line right there. So we could encounter some resistance here. If you take this trade, even if we have really good direction, I probably wouldn't get into it. I would go find something else. But if you absolutely wanted to get in, you might consider getting in temporarily, maybe intraday trading it, as long as you're aware that you're coming up to a moving average here, and there's a chance that it'll bounce off of that. Then you lose all your profits. Okay. Like I said, you need to have 5 points to make the system really work. And even if you have agreement here, all the points line up, even if you've got some clear space between moving averages, you still need to look for horizontal support and resistance. Okay. See if I can. Here we go. So I might come over here and click on that and say, all right, well, there's another resistance line. Here's another one. It just depends on what you see here. Okay, you might draw those out, and that'll estimate the space that you have to work toward. So again, you might have a really good setup, but you need to know potentially if you have limited space, limited upside that you can travel. Okay. Let me get rid of these. Get rid of these lines, and then we can move on. All right. So that is how my system works. Now, even when you get everything good, ready, you're salivating and you're ready to enter the trade, you're still not done, because you have to know what the 2 hour is looking at, what it's looking like. So if this is right after the market bell, and this is what I saw, okay, well, what do I see? Well, I see this buy marker. That's 1. I see this here. That's 2. I see congruency here, blue and blue. I see blue and not quite here. So I can't count that as a point. I've got this as a point. I wouldn't count this. This is not good. This is, that's not tight. It looks like tomorrow or maybe the next day it'll become tighter. But right now, no, I wouldn't. So that's a no. This is a no. This is maybe. Yeah, this is okay. This is okay too. So do I have enough to get excited about this? No. I don't have a lot of range here. I also have some things that are absolute required, like congruency here and congruency here. I don't have that here. I really don't have that here either. I don't have anything that says strong conviction or total commitment to the upside that is enough to get us excited to jump into this. Now, when I look at the 2 hour, I do see some pretty good movement here. Okay? So you have to know what the 2 hour is doing. For example, what if we looked at the 2 hour and this is what we saw? Okay? So everything looks good, we're set up to go long, and then we look at the 2 hour and we start to see some orange on the 2 hour candles. Then no, I would not get into this. I would wait for this to cycle through. Okay? It eventually did. It started to come around, and then you can go ahead and enter this trade. So you need to know what the 2 hour is doing. You might have a really good long setup, and then you start to see that the 2 hour is going to be cycling through and a little retracement, little pullback that you're going to have to wait for. You're going to have to sit on your hands for 3.5 hours. Can you do that? A lot of people can't do that. So I would probably pass on this one for all the reasons that I've cited. Okay? Now, let's look at a couple of stocks that are in play today. Let me go grab those. These are on my list to look at. Okay? So people are talking about snow. Let's see how it's doing. Are we coming off of a bottom here? Looks like on the 2 hour we got some movement. So let's look at the daily here. Daily here we've gone from orange to blue. Waiting for some of the other data to come in. Okay, so here's what snow looks like. What immediately sticks out right here? All of these moving averages. We got 4 of them right here. You got some serious resistance right here. So just based on that, I wouldn't enter into this. I don't care what I see down here. I wouldn't enter into this. That's it. I'm ready to move on to the next stock. Okay? But let's go through this. What do we have right now? We have this buy signal here, and we got this marker here. Right now, today, we've got blue and orange. That's not good. We got orange and no congruency here. We don't have anything here. This looks like it's starting to point up. Looks like it's starting to get, it might be something. This looks like it might be bottoming. We have this little green marker here. We got a little pointing up here on the stochastics. We do have some pointing up down here on the money flow, which suggests that we've got some money coming in. All right, but would I get into this? No way, no way. Not with this huge intersection right here of moving averages, and we certainly don't have anything right here. Okay. All right, here's another ticker. We're going to look at the XLP. What do we see here? Well, we see a very strong downtrend. That's clear. Everything's orange. We've got the two sell markers that fired way back here. So naturally, you might think, oh, well, it looks like an easy short. We've got orange here. We've got nice separation here with these lines. We got orange here. This is red, down. Well, we've got that. This looks like it's bottoming with a green marker here. This is certainly at the bottom. It could stay at the bottom a long time. This is bottomed. Looks like it's suggesting a move up. Okay, but here's what I see here. This is my concern, is these two lines here look like they're starting to go flat. Let's look at it closer. Let's look at this one closer. We got a line movement up and crossing. That's kind of a concern to me. I understand it looks great for a short. I'm not so sure because of what I see there. I understand everything else looks good for a short. We even have the downwards. My concern is that this thing is going to cycle through. We're probably going to, it looks like we're starting to see it. We're going to start to see these on the 2 hour. These blues come up and cycle through. And if this is going to continue short, not before we see a big cycle on the 2 hour. Okay, so for those reasons, I would not get into the XLP. All right, let's do another ticker. This is Tesla. What do we see here? Well, we've got blue. Looks like we might be above these. You can see it over here on the 2 hour. Looks like we are above these moving averages. That's good. We do have this marker here. We don't have the chandelier exit. Okay. We do have blue congruency here. We do have blue and blue here, and they're pointing up. We don't have this marker. We don't have this one yet. Okay. We do have this. They're tight and they're pointing up. We do have this bottom and suggesting up. We do have these pointing up, and we have this one pointing up. So these all count as 1 point. Here's 2, together 3, together 4, and 5. So we do have 5. And we know we're above the moving averages. And lots of space, maybe up until here. And so I can come in and I can put that somewhere here. So we've got possible space to potentially 278. I guess something could trigger over here as well, but we got some space here. And we also have, if you look at the 2 hour, we got a very nice, strong breakout today on Tesla. I mean, I think it was up 4.5%. So we got very strong momentum, and the markets are turning bullish again. So this is one I did get into late this afternoon. Okay, I was waiting for it to get above some moving averages. I was watching it. I wish I would have got it in early, but you gotta follow your system. Okay. All right, so we'll see how that one goes. I'm hoping I can have a nice run for at least the rest of the week, maybe into next week, before the markets turn down again, like everyone thinks they will. Okay, so that's Tesla. And this is an example of one I got into. We don't have the chandelier exit, but to make up for that, we don't have this one either. But we do have everything else. I even looked at the 2 hour and I said, wow, that's pretty strong. We might, and we're above the moving averages. I think we can do it. So I did. So let's go ahead and let's finish up. Again, one last time, welcome to Turnkey Trading. My name is Ryan, and I'm hoping to create a nice trading group. As long as you're interested in finding the stocks that are in play and look like they've got some momentum and some direction for the next few days. If that's your style of trading, then join me and let's see if we can make some money. Thanks for watching. I hope to have some videos. I'm hoping I can do this every pre-market, or at least shortly after market open. Okay? I'll give you my rundown. Videos shouldn't take longer than maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes. We'll look at some of my stocks. If it's a live video, you can suggest which tickers you want me to look at, and I'll run them through my system, and we'll take a look at them. Okay? Nice to meet you, and we'll chat again later.